Welcome to Tech in the Car. In this video, we're going to compare the cameras on the OnePlus 8 Pro 5G and the iPhone 11 Pro Max. Will the iPhone that won the last round against the Galaxy Fold win, or will the new champion be the OnePlus 8 Pro? Stay tuned to find out. And don't forget to subscribe, hitting the button down in the corner, and like and comment on this video. Start with the winner of the last head-to-head, the iPhone 11 Pro. It has a triple camera setup with three 12 megapixel cameras with a wide lens with an aperture of f1.8, an ultra wide with 120 degree field of view, and a telephoto which has an aperture of f2, which is really big for telephoto, and also 2x optical zoom. How does that compare to the OnePlus 8? Let's find out. It's got a quad camera system with a 48 megapixel main sensor, a 8 megapixel telephoto lens, but a smaller aperture than the iPhone, and then it has a 48 megapixel ultra wide, which is the amount of detail that the iPhone can't compare to with its only 12 megapixel ultra wide. And it's got a fourth color filter lens which allows cool effects and even better photos. So let's get into it and compare them. We start with the telephoto. This is 3x. You can see even though it's got lower resolution because it's zoomed in more optical, it looks higher quality. But they both are very similar pictures with good contrast. The iPhone looks a bit cooler, there's a bit more detail in the skies. This is the ultra wide. The OnePlus has the 48 megapixel sensor, so it's much higher detailed. The iPhone has better contrast, of course, but zoomed in, it lacks that finesse. Looking at the standard sensors, you can see there's a lot more detail in the OnePlus, but the iPhone actually is much more focused and much more detailed in terms of retaining it. Again, telephoto, you can see they're very similar, these photos, there isn't much in them. Standard wide angle, again, you look at them, the iPhone has got better HDR in this photo, it looks a lot warmer than the OnePlus. This is the night vision photo. And as you can see, the iPhone's a bit warmer, but in terms of actual detail, they are pretty much spot on, exactly the same. The OnePlus also can do night mode in its ultra wide, which is what this is, and you can see it works pretty much exactly the same. Looking at the video, you just have to look at how smooth the OnePlus 8 is. It looks like an iPhone video. If you compare it to how the Galaxy Fold was recording video, how it was choppy and jumping around, and you know, to be granted, this is slightly further zoomed out than the iPhone that you're going to see in a second, but it's just retaining that detail so beautifully. It looks a bit warmer again, I would say in video terms, than the iPhone. I'd say the iPhone looks a lot cooler here, but you would not think necessarily they were from different cameras, and that is impressive. Video, the OnePlus 8 Pro, it looks very much like the iPhone, as you can see. It's got the 48 megapixel sensor right now. It's much cooler than the iPhone in video, which is the reverse of the photos. Zoomed in, however, it lacks that detail. That's probably due to the fact the sensor's 8 megapixels, so even though it's 3x optical zoom, it loses some resolution. If you compare that to the iPhone has a much more detailed, it's retaining the detail, as I mentioned before, even though the photo quality isn't as high, but the 2x optical zoom obviously looks a lot better just because of the fact that it's a 12 megapixel sensor. But that's different to the photos, obviously. You didn't see that lack of resolution on the telephoto, on the photos, only on the videos. So this is an example of video on the OnePlus 8 Pro and the iPhone 11 Pro Max. And as you can see, this is the front camera, so I'm gonna do some selfie recording, and you know, they look very similar, in all honesty. They both look pretty stable. So how do these compare to each other? Considering the iPhone is much more expensive than the OnePlus 8 Pro, it's a really close competition. The iPhone still takes better photos, but there are lots of areas where the OnePlus 8 is very close, and in certain circumstances better. The video on the OnePlus 8 Pro is unbelievable. It's the closest any Android phone has ever come to the iPhone in terms of quality, and the overall photos are outstanding. So the iPhone just takes it, but the truth is these are too close to call for most people. So either one would end up giving you fantastic pictures. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the button in the corner of the screen, and we'll see you in the next video. Thank you very much.